program Tambula n'okumanya gose, tambula n'okumanya ku MRU TV.
Today, with Tambula n'okumanya, we are looking at Atiku Abubakar, who was the Vice President of Nigeria from 1999 to 2007 during the presidency of Olusegun Obasanjo. Atiku Abubakar was born on the 25th of November 1946 in Jeddah, Adamawa State. His father, Gaba Abubakar, was a Fulani trader and a farmer, and his mother was Aisha Kandi. Atiku became the only child of his parents when his only sister died at infancy. He studied school at the Jeddah Primary School, Adamawa. In 1960, he was admitted into the Adamawa Provincial Secondary School. He graduated in 1965 after he made grade 3 in the West African Senior School Certificate Examination. After his secondary education, Atiku enrolled for a short period at the Nigerian Police College in Kaduna. He then secured a job as a tax officer in the Regional Ministry of Finance. He gained admission into the School of Hygiene in Kano in 1966. In 1967, he graduated with a diploma after serving as an interim student union president at the school. In the same year, he enrolled on scholarship from the regional government for a law diploma at the Ahmadu Bello University Institute of Administration. Following his graduation in 1969, which was during the Nigerian Civil War, he was employed by the Nigeria Customs Service. Atiku went further to complete his master's degree in international relations at Anglia Ruskin University, Cambridge, UK in 2021. Abubakar has 4 wives and 28 children. Atiku explains, "I wanted to expand the Abubakar family. I felt extremely lonely as a child. I had no brother and no sister. I didn't want my children to be as lonely as I was. This is why I married more than one wife. My wives are my sisters, my friends, and my advisors, and they complement one another." He's a Nigerian politician and a businessman who served as the Vice President of Nigeria from 1999 to 2007 during the presidency of Olusegun Obasanjo. He ran as governor of Adamawa State in 1990, 1996, and 1998 when he was finally elected before he became Obasanjo's running mate during the 1999 presidential election and was re-elected in 2003. Atiku Abubakar ran unsuccessfully for president of Nigeria 6 times in 1993, 2007, 2011, 2015, 2019, and 2023. He ran in the Social Democratic Party presidential primaries in 1993, but lost to Moshood Abiola and Babagana Kingibe. He was a presidential candidate of the Action Congress in 2007 presidential election, coming in third to Umaru Yadowa of the PDP and Muhammadu Buhari of the ANPP. He contested the presidential primaries of the People's Democratic Party during the 2011 presidential election, losing out to incumbent President Goodluck Jonathan. In 2014, he joined the All Progressives Congress ahead of the 2015 presidential election and contested the presidential primaries, losing to Muhammadu Buhari. In 2017, he returned to the People's Democratic Party and was the party presidential candidate during the 2019 presidential election, again losing to incumbent President Muhammadu Buhari. In May 2022, he was chosen as the People's Democratic Party presidential candidate for the 2023 general election after he defeated Nyesom Wike, the current governor of Rivers State, in the primaries. He came in second in the general election, being defeated by Bola Tinubu, though Abubakar joined other opposition candidates in demanding a revote. About his business career, Abubakar worked in the Nigeria Customs Service for 20 years, rising to become the deputy director as the second highest position in the service was then known. He retired in April 1989 and took up full-time business and politics. He started out in the real estate business during his early days as a customs officer. In 1974, he applied for and received a 31,000 naira loan to build his first house in Yola, which he put up for rent. From proceeds of the rent, he purchased another plot and built a second house. He continued this way, building a sizable portfolio of property in Yola, Nigeria. In 1981, he moved into agriculture, acquiring 2,500 hectares of land near Yola to start a maize and cotton farm. The business fell on hard times and closed in 1986. "My first foray into agriculture in the 1980s ended in failure," he wrote in an April 2014 blog. He then ventured into trading, buying and selling truckloads of rice, flour, and sugar. Abubakar's most important business move came while he was a customs officer at the Apapa ports. Gabriel Volpi, an Italian businessman in Nigeria, invited him to set up Nigeria Container Services, which is also known as NICOTS. a logistics company operating within the ports. Nicots would later go on to become Intel's Nigeria Limited and provide immense wealth to Abubakar. Abubakar is a co-founder of Intel's Nigeria Limited, an oil servicing business with extensive operations in Nigeria and abroad. Atiku's other business interests are centered within Yola, Adamawa, and include the Adama Beverages Limited, a beverage manufacturing plant in Yola, an animal feed factory, and the American University of Nigeria, AUN, the first American-style private university to be established in sub-Saharan Africa. He retired in April 1989 and took up full-time business and politics. Conflict of interest accusations have since trailed him on account of his involvement in business while a civil servant who exercised supervisory authority. On his part, Abubakar has defended the decision, saying his involvement was limited to the ownership of shares, which government rules permitted, and that he was not involved in the day-to-day running of the business. His company, Nicots, would later be rebranded into Intel's and would later go on to feature prominently in accusations of money laundering leveled against Abubakar by the US government during his vice presidency. Abubakar launched the True Federalism campaign in 2017. He delivered speeches around the country on the need to restructure the country. He recently declared at an event where he was conferred the award Hero of Democracy by Hall of Grace magazine. Political decentralization will also help to deepen and strengthen our democracy as it will encourage more accountability. Citizens are more likely to demand accountability when governments spend their tax money rather than rent collected from an impersonal source. He also said true federalism will encourage states to compete to attract investments and skilled workers rather than merely waiting for monthly revenue allocation from Abuja. Many of his speeches have received praise as some Nigerians have supported the idea of true federalism, which involves allowing states to have control over their resources, most notably the South-South and the South of East Nigeria. In his speeches and commentary, Abubakar is a vocal advocate of the importance of Nigeria's educational system. He is also the founder of American University of Nigeria, AUN, in Yola, the capital of Adamawa, which began in 2005. He said that having benefited from the US system of instruction as a young man, he was eager to make available in Nigeria an American-styled faculty, emphasizing critical thinking, small classes, student participation, problem solving. AUN has received special recognition from Google. In a bid to alleviate the educational dependence in the Northeast, Abubakar issued scholarships to 15 escapees of the Chibok schoolgirls kidnapping. Abubakar's first foray into politics was in the early 1980s when he worked behind the scenes on the governorship campaign of Bamanga Takul, who at the time was a managing director of the Nigeria Ports Authority. He canvassed for votes on behalf of Takul and also donated to the campaign. Towards the end of his customs career, he met General Shehu Musa Yadoua, who had been second in command, Chief of Staff, Supreme Headquarters between 1976 and 1979. Abubakar was drawn by Yadoua into political meetings that were now happening regularly in Yadoua's Lagos home, which gave rise to the People's Front of Nigeria. The People's Front included politicians such as Umaru Musa Yadoua, Babagana Kingibe, Bola Tinubu, Sabo Bakinzuo, Rabiu Nkwakwaso, Abdullahi Aliyu Sumaila, and Abubakar Koko. In 1989, Abubakar was elected the national vice chairman of the People's Front of Nigeria in the build-up to the Third Nigerian Republic. Abubakar won a seat to represent his constituency at the 1989 Constituent Assembly, set up to decide a new constitution for Nigeria. The People's Front was eventually denied registration by the military government and merged with the government-created Social Democratic Party, SDP. On 1st September 1990, Abubakar announced his Gongola State gubernatorial bid. A year later, before the elections could hold, Gongola State was broken up into two, Adamawa and Taraba states, by the federal government. Abubakar fell into the new Adamawa state. After the contest, he won the SDP primaries in November 1991, but was soon disqualified by the government from contesting the elections. In 1993, Abubakar contested the SDP presidential primaries. The results after the first ballot of the primaries held in Jos was Moshood Abiola with 3,617 votes, Babagana Kingibe with 3,255 votes, and Abubakar with 2,066 votes. Abubakar and Kingibe considered joining forces, combining 5,231 votes to challenge Abiola. However, after Shehu Yadoua asked Tiku Abubakar to withdraw from the campaign, with Abiola promising to make him his running mate, Abiola was later pressured by SDP governors to select Kingibe as his vice presidential running mate in the June 12th presidential election. After the 12th June and during the General Sani Abacha transition, Abubakar showed interest to contest for the gubernatorial seat of Adamawa State under the United Nigeria Congress Party. The transition program came to an end with the death of General Abacha. In 1998, Abubakar joined the People's Democratic Party, PDP, and later secured nomination for governor of Adamawa State, winning the December 1998 governorship elections. But before he could be sworn in, he accepted a position as the running mate to the PDP presidential candidate, former military head of the state, General Olusegun Obasanjo, who went on to win the 1999 presidential election, ushering in the Fourth Nigerian Republic. On 29th May 1999, Abubakar was sworn in as Vice President of Nigeria. His first term was mainly characterized by his role as Chairman of the National Economic Council and head of the National Council of Privatization, overseeing the sale of hundreds of loss-making and poorly managed public enterprises alongside Nasir El-Rufai. Abubakar's second term as Vice President was marked by a stormy relationship with President Obasanjo. In 2006, Abubakar was involved in a bitter public battle with his boss, President Olusegun Obasanjo, ostensibly arising from the latter's bid to amend certain provisions of the constitution to take another shot at the presidency. The controversy generated by the failed constitutional amendment caused a rift in the People's Democratic Party. The National Assembly eventually vetoed the amendments, allowing Obasanjo to run for another term. In 2006, Abubakar fell out with President Olusegun Obasanjo and switched parties from the People's Democratic Party, PDP, to the Action Congress of Nigeria, ACN, in preparation for the 2000 elections. On 25th November 2006, Abubakar announced that he would run for president. On 20th December 2006, he was chosen as the presidential candidate of the Action Congress. On 14th March 2007, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, released the final list of 24 aspirants for 21st April presidential election. Abubakar's name was missing from the ballot. INEC issued a statement stating that Abubakar's name was missing because he was on a list of persons indicated for corruption by a panel set up by the government. Abubakar headed to the courts on 16th March to have his disqualification overturned. The Supreme Court unanimously ruled on 16th April that INEC had no power to disqualify candidates. The ruling allowed Abubakar to contest the election, although there were concerns that it might not be possible to provide ballots with Abubakar's name by 21st April, the date of the election. On the 17th April, a spokesman for INEC said that Abubakar would be on the ballot. According to the official results, Abubakar took third place behind PDP candidate Umaru Yar'Adua and ANPP candidate Muhammadu Buhari with approximately 7% of the vote. Abubakar rejected the election results and called for its cancellation, describing it as Nigeria's worst election ever. He said that he would not attend Umaru Yar'Adua's inauguration on 29th May due to his view that the election was not credible, saying that he did not want to dignify such a holy ritual with his presence. Following the 2007 elections, Abubakar returned to the People's Democratic Party. In October 2010, he announced his intention to contest for presidency. On 22nd November, a committee of Northern elders selected him as the Northern Consensus candidate over former military president Ibrahim Babangida, former National Security Advisor Aliyu Gusau, and Governor Bukola Saraki of Kwara State. In January 2011, Abubakar contested for the presidential ticket of his party alongside Jonathan and Sarah Jibril and lost the primary, garnering 805 votes to President Jonathan's 2,736. In August 2015, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, registered two new political parties. One of them was the People's Democratic Movement. Local media reports suggested that the party was formed by Abubakar as a backup plan in case he was unable to fulfill his rumored presidential ambitions on the PDP platform. On 2nd February 2014, Abubakar once again left the People's Democratic Party and became a founding member, All Progressives Congress, with the ambition of contesting for the presidency ahead of the 2015 presidential election. The results of the APC presidential primaries held in Lagos was Muhammadu Buhari with 3,430 votes, Rabiu Kwankwaso with 974 votes, Atiku Abubakar with 954 votes, Rochas Okorocha with 400 votes, and Sam Isia with 10 votes. On Friday, 24th November 2017, Abubakar announced his exit from the All Progressive Congress and returned to the People's Democratic Party on 3rd December 2017. He said he decided to return home to the PDP now that the issues which made him leave the party had been resolved. In 2018, Abubakar began his presidential campaign and secured the party nomination of the PDP in the presidential primaries held in Port Harcourt on 7th October 2018. He defeated all the other aspirants and got 1,532 votes, 839 more than the runner-up, the governor of Sokoto State, Aminu Tsumbuwal. Atiku Abubakar continued his campaign rally in Kogi State as he promised to complete abandoned projects in the state. On 30th January, he participated in the town hall meeting, tagged NG the candidate, and in the meeting he declared that he will grant amnesty to looters that he vowed to privatize 90% of the NNPC, Nigeria's primary source of income. Atiku took his campaigns to Katsina, visit a mill of Daura on 7th February 2019. On 27th February 2019, Atiku lost the presidential election to incumbent President Muhammadu Buhari by over 3 million votes. The appealed at the Supreme Court and described the election as the worst in Nigeria's democratic history. Atiku Abubakar emerged as the presidential candidate of the People's Democratic Party for 2023 election after he defeated 12 other candidates in a keenly contested presidential primary held at Moshood Abiola Stadium in Abuja on 28 May 2022. The 767 accredited ballots at the election, he polled 371 votes, while his closest challenger, Governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, came second with 237 votes. Nigeria's former Senate President Bukola Saraki scored 70 votes to come a distant third, while Governor of Akwa Ibom, Udom Emmanuel, came fourth with 38 votes. Talking about the titles and honors he has, in 1982, Abubakar was given the chieftaincy title of the Turaki of Adamawa by his future father-in-law, Adamawa's traditional ruler Alhaji Aliyu Mustafa. The title had previously been reserved for the monarch's favorite prince in the palace, as the holder is in charge of the monarch's domestic affairs. In June 2017, Abubakar was given the chieftaincy title of the Waziri of Adamawa, and his previous title of Turaki was transferred to his son Aliyu, his first son with his third wife. In 2011, while celebrating the 50th anniversary of the U.S. Peace Corps in 2011, the National Peace Corps Association, NPCA, an independent non-profit organization separate from the Peace Corps that serves as an alumni association for returned Peace Corps volunteers, honored Abubakar with the Harris Wofford Global Citizen Award. At the presentation of the award, the National Peace Corps Association described Abubakar as one individual who contributed to the development of higher education on the continent of Africa. This was after, in 2012, when Abubakar donated $750,000 to the National Peace Corps Association in the United States to fund a new initiative featuring global leaders who will discuss Peace Corps' impact. It was the largest ever individual donation in the association's history. NAGADYA Deborah reporting for MRI TV.